Welcome back, Region 1 Football Media Day. We are thrilled to have the Davis Darts in the house. We have Coach Peary and a bunch of their star players. We're going to learn all about this year's team. But, Coach, first I wanted to start with Mom Prom and the Women Respect Week. Tell me about how that started, how long you've been doing it, and just kind of some of the cool stuff about that.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. We when I got here about 6 years ago, we started it, and we always do it the Saturday before Mother's Day. And all week long in football class, we have a series of character lessons, just teaching the boys about date etiquette and dance etiquette and how to speak to women, talk to women, and then we capped it off by having a kind of a formal dinner and light dance and dessert and hang out with mom and teach them to open the car door and ask dad when they need to be home and all those fun things. And our boys have embraced it, and it's been kind of a hit around here, and it's fun to do.
Awesome. Loved seeing that on social media. Let's start just with generally kind of the state of the program right now, Coach, in this point of the off season, entering summer camp, some of the 7-on-7 stuff, just your excitement for this group this upcoming year.
Yeah, lots of excitement going on. A lot of key players, key returners, guys that can play football, have played a number of years, and I think it's all part of the mojo to put it all together and see what can come out of it. But yeah, each day, what I love is our guys love to practice, and when they love to practice, man, you got something special going. And so we'll continue that and see what it can do for us in the fall.
Before we get to the players, Coach, I'm going to just have you give me a little kind of info about style. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball with you calling plays. What do you like to do offensively, and how would you describe the style of the Darts offense in general?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't think it's a secret. We like to throw the football, and it's based on our personnel as well. We just happen to have the right guys in place, throw that football around. Mike Leach said it best. He said, one reporter asked him, "Hey, how come you don't like to stay balanced on the run pass?" He's like, "I do stay balanced. I throw it deep, I throw it short, I throw it intermediate, and I throw it to the perimeter, and I throw it in the middle." So I thought that was kind of funny, and maybe we kind of mirror that a little bit, but we throw to our running backs out of the backfield often, and obviously we got some home run threats to hope to throw to, but we like to open it up and throw it a little bit.
I think around 42 points per game last year you guys scored. Tell me about your defensive coordinator, Coach, what type of guy he is and what style he likes to coach with.
Sure. Cameron Pribble's his name. He's been here since day one with me. Phenomenal guy. Very analytical, very sharp mind, very good memory. He'll watch something once and he's got it, but he's a big film junkie, and I think that's what kind of separates him a little bit with that analytical mind. But no, I'm very involved, and what I mean by involved is listen in and let my coaches be coaches. But you can tell, man, he does a great job, puts in the work, and I'm excited to see what he does this year.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that, Coach. Now I'm going to go through kind of the phases of the team, just kind of unit by unit, and I'll have the players speak to what the ones they're part of. But before I get to them, I guess let's start with quarterback. What's that situation like right now, as the summer's getting going?
Yeah, we got three guys in the program right now with Cam Moody, going to be a junior, Peyton Tua, who moved in January from Bonneville, and then Brody Scheinberg, who moved in from St. John Bosco in January. And Brody's Scheinberg separated himself. He'll be the guy going into week one, and he's sharp. He's got a strong arm, good mind for the game, and we're excited to see with his arm and our receivers what we can do with that.
Excellent. Then I'll go to you, Sam. Sam Coleman here. Tell me about the receiving core this year and how summer's been and some of the 7-on-7 stuff with these different quarterbacks thrown to you.
Yeah, we got some guys. Bodie and Jax, they've been at Davis for a long time. I've been here, and then we have Colin Murdoch and Cooper Rigby. All these guys that, I mean, everyone on our team can make a play. So if you see us at a sevens tournament, most likely we're going to be going deep in the end zone. Um, but with all of our quarterbacks, they're all really solid. Brody's got like definitely a spotlight arm where he can just chuck that ball and we'll go and catch it. But all of them are good, and it's just been great. Sevens has been really fun. think we're at Weber State on Friday, so looking to win that
Nice.
three-peat.
Nice. Love to hear that, Sam. Before I talk to Bodie, tell me what it's like playing with Bodie Sparrow, just what type of teammate he is. Obviously, he's well known around the state.
Yeah, no, Bodie's awesome. Definitely has reason that he could be cocky, but he's a really humble guy. Really, really fun to be around. Just improves us all. Him, Jax, me, all of us. Just feel like we can learn things from each other, and it's just been a great experience.
And then Bodie, tell me about Sam. What's it like playing with him, and maybe an aspect of his game that you admire or think is excellent for a high school player?
What's up, fellas? First of all, appreciate that, Sam. Yeah, Sam's obviously blowing up. He just got an offer to Army just barely, which is huge. Um, Last couple of years, like Coach said, like we've always had good skills, and our receivers have always done great. But Sam's always kind of just been behind that a little bit with good players. And I think this year, this offseason especially, I've been super proud of him. He's gotten bigger, stronger, faster, and ran like 10.8 in the 100-meter, and starting to blow up and is starting to show everyone what he's about. But I mean, he's 6'3", 185, 10.8 flat, good routes, all about great mindset. And so, yeah, he's going to have a great year for us. It'll be awesome.
Amazing. Bodie could be your agent going forward, Sam. He's doing a great
That's
job
right.
for you there.
That's right. That's right. No doubt.
That makes me sound good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday nights. Coach, give me an overview. I guess I'll ask some of your players too, but an overview of the offensive line. Maybe give me a couple of names of guys that might not be here, and just how much experience you've got, who needs to step up, or leaders that are coming back on the O line.
This is the most excited I've been about our offensive line in the 6 years that I've been here. We've got, five guys at every position there, from center, right guard, left guard, tackle. And we got size. That's just something we haven't had here in Kaysville. Starting with anchoring it down, Mason Bush. Like he said, he's blown up this offseason as well. He's got some mean and nasty to him, and he's got quick feet, long arms, and he'll have a big breakout year. So we're excited about that. Moving down the line at left guard, we just had a move in. His name's Curly McConney, that could be helping us out there at the left guard position. He brings 6'2", 290 to the table, and we're excited to see what he can do and contribute that way. Hudson Smith, think, can lift the entire high school himself. He's so strong. He's got all of our school records. So he plays center. He'll anchor that down for us. And then we've got Noah Bingham, who started as a sophomore last year. Great size, great athleticism, and he bringing back experience with him as well. And then there's Crew Plyer, who's very versatile, could play guard, could play tackle. He'll be a 2-year starter, and so yeah, a lot of excitement with those guys lining up together.
And I'll have you give me a little bit more on Mason, coach, since he's here. Tell me about what separates him, either technique or what mentality that has made him kind of an anchor for this offensive line.
I'd go right to his competitive spirit. I mean, we've seen that right away. We've gone to some 5v5s and different things, and he's lined up against the best, and he wants the best, and he dreams about the best. He's told me about this, and it's been fun to listen to, and he's a student of the game, and he's worked his craft tremendously this offseason to put himself into these situations to be looked at and to have a great year. But his versatility of his length and size and speed, man, I think it's very exciting, intriguing to watch him this year. He'll have a big year for us.
All right, beautiful. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball, coach. I'll have you tell me about Dexter at linebacker, and then we'll talk about the rest of the defensive front this year from the line and the rest of the backers. But give me a little evaluation of what Dexter brings to the Darts.
Dexter, we could put him anywhere on the field, I think, on defense. Probably the hardest hitter, best tackler. He could put his hand in the ground if need be, and we can put him out on the perimeter and coverage. And that's what just makes him so great, is we can ask him to do anything, and he can do it, all of those things at a high level. So he'll anchor the defense down for us. 2-year guy, and sharp mind. And I think more than anything is just the ability to read plays. He reads his keys very well, and I think that helps him speed up his game.
Excellent. Thank you, coach. Let's go to Dexter. Dexter, tell me about the big guys in front of you at defensive line. Give me a couple of names of guys that are protecting you from getting blocked and keeping you open for tackles, and then I'll ask you about playing with some of your fellow backers as well.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, we got a good D line this year. We got Johnny Parker, who's an absolute stud, especially in the one-on-ones. I've never seen him be beat. We got Cam Evans. He's also a stud. He benches a lot, just up there with Huddy. And then we got Walker. We got Daxton. Um, what else we got? And we
Is,
might get.
Is Dorius
Oh
playing D
yeah,
line?
Ben Dorius too. He's a stud. He's playing backer and D line, and
My
yeah,
bad.
it'll be
Okay.
great for us. So we got a good D line this year. I'm
Okay,
hyped.
excellent. And then what in your evaluation of yourself, where did you excel last year, and where do you want to maybe even improve more this year, and what aspect of your game defensively?
Last year I played a little bit of backer, and then one of my teammates, Cooper Harson, got hurt, so I switched over to Rover, and I went more on the coverage side, which was awesome. Learned how to one-on-one guard everyone and play safety a little bit. But this year, I think I'm getting bigger and stronger. I'm gonna move to linebacker and focus on filling gaps and knocking over linemen.
All right, excellent.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
I got a bunch more questions for the players, but before I do, um, Coach, give me an evaluation, I guess, of the secondary.
Wow. Again, I would dare say this that it will be our best secondary since I've been here. There's just obviously Bodie anchors that down for the fourth year in a row. Then off to the sides, you got Sam and Jackson playing corner, and then with our rover position, it's special position of filling gaps and playing coverage. So we got a couple guys there that I'm really excited about as far as if people come in with a passing game, I like what we got going on. But yeah, athletes all over the field in that secondary for sure.
You've seen a ton of high school players throughout your career, Coach. Tell me about, I forgot to ask you specifically about a couple of these guys, but tell me about, you've probably asked this a lot from recruiters and everybody else, but tell me a little bit about what has made Bodie such a special player over the last several years for the Darts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Bodie has created a blueprint on an athlete of his caliber and how to go about the business, how about to go about the game. He's done it all. How to handle recruiting and still be a great teammate, to be humble, to get the attention that he does and still be able to handle himself and block out the noise. Like he could write a book on that, and I think kids would read it as to how it should be done. So kudos to him. He's done a tremendous job with that. The next thing I would say is he elevates, Sam alluded to it earlier, is he elevates other kids' game, whether it's by the way he goes about his business, they want to be like that, how he plays, they want to be like that. And again, you want to meet a competitive kid, man, it's that guy right there. I've seen it over the course of 4 years of just little instances and stories of, I saw something get under his skin, and next thing you know, he's in the corner working on it until he gets it right. And so obviously that's just a tribute to him and his hard work to help him get to where he's at.
And then what does it take, talking about Sam Coleman out receiver in this offense, 6A Region 1, to be a starter at receiver and especially this offense where you're just airing it out? What's maybe an underrated trait that is like a prerequisite to get on the field and be able to run some routes for this program?
Yeah, I don't know if there's prereqs. I feel just fortunate that I get to coach these guys, and it's my job to help them display their abilities and talents that they do have. With Sam, he touches in all categories. He's got the length, good hands, sharp route running, and more importantly, he's a great blocker. We throw a lot of stuff to the flat, to the perimeter, to our running back, and if you don't block, you don't get the rock. And at any given time, man, he could take the top off. So again, very versatile with Sam there. But prereqs, I don't know. I think you just got to come out and show that you can compete day in, day out, catch the football, block, and create separation and have body control.
Has the receiver position, as far as what's required at the high school level, changed a lot over the last 20 years? I know the offenses have gotten more spread and thrown a lot more, I guess. But is it basically the same kind of talent set you need to be good? That might be a dumb question, but
No, not at all. Because I would say 3 years ago, I had two little minions, Easton Baggett and Tyson Elkins, that were about this tall, and they each had 100 catches. Well, one had 94, one had like 103. And so, Easton Baggett was 138 pounds dripping wet and 5'8". And so Tyson Elkins was a little bit bigger, and that's where we made our money, is with just those two little, whether you want to call them Julian Edelmans or
yeah.
whatnot. And then over the year, I've had some taller guys, and this year, man, we got some guys that can play football and do a little bit of everything there.
Okay, we're gonna do a little rapid fire here with the players. Sam, I'm gonna start with you. Who's the toughest guy on the team for you to beat in a 40-yard dash, buddy?
Well, that's got to be Jackson Itaihau. Me and him are going at it every time.
And
We
what
just
position does he play?
he's a wide receiver.
Okay.
Me and him go at it every time. Right now he ran what was it, like 4.46 or something. Right now I'm at that 4.50, so we're just kind of hoping to beat him, going back and forth.
Dang. All right. Let's go to Bodie. Bodie, who's the toughest guy for you to out squat on the team? And I think you guys may have already answered this one.
Squat. Well, I appreciate you even asking that question because we got the strongest team of my last 4 years, like Coach said. Like we've got like 7 guys benching like 300 plus, something like that. Maybe I'm off, but I'm nowhere even like I probably squat 400 pounds, but I mean, I'm nowhere near some of these squat. I think Hudson Smith, our center, like he like set a record not too long ago. Like I don't even know what it is. I'm not in that range though. So yeah, plenty of guys would out squat me.
What's Hudson's last name again? The big
Hudson
lifter?
Smith.
Hudson
Hudson
Smith.
Smith.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. And then
He
I was gonna
yeah.
ask Dexter, on the defensive side of the ball, who's the most coach on the field? It might be you, but besides you, kind of cerebral player who you're like, dang, this guy knows what's going on out here all the time.
I would definitely say Bodie. He's him at safety. He's always leading us, telling coverages when coach isn't there, or yeah, telling us what to do. So yeah, definitely Bodie.
All right, I probably could have guessed that one. All right, Mason,
Yeah.
who's the guy on the team you least want to face in hitting drill, Oklahoma drill, or something like that?
I've got to say, I think it's either Dexter or my guy Austin Yates. They both just head down, low leverage, and just come and rock your world. But it's one of those two.
Okay, very good. Same staying with you, Mason. Who puts the most effort on Friday nights into looking good in their uniform?
Ooh, are we talking O line or like player specific?
Anybody?
Anybody? It's got to be a receiver. I think O line, like you just put on some knee braces, you look good enough. I think it's one of the receivers. It's got to be either Bodie or Sam. Sam's a big one. Sam loves his spread.
Okay.
So
All right. Looking good. And then, Coach, you might need to answer this, but is there like a Davis Dart super fan who's been there for years, like painting their face, whether it's some schools, it's a student who leads the cheers or whatever. Some Bingham was talking about a mom who's a crazy fan. Does Davis have a famous super fan?
We do. His name is Brett Butterfield. He's the ultimate, man. He's been here since the 70s. I don't know if he's missed a game. He's front and center. He used to be the voice of the darts,
Okay.
and he's tremendous. He does a great job of bringing the community together, and old and former alums and all that. So
Awesome. Beautiful answer. Okay. And then what's the biggest challenge about the schedule this year, Coach? Or maybe something you like about the schedule? Either out of region, whatever.
yeah, I think top to bottom, it's a tough schedule. I don't think there's a let up in any of the given weeks. Obviously, week one is very enticing. Coming matching up with Corner Canyon week one. It's week one, let alone it's Corner Canyon. So to have that date circled and ready and gunning for that, I think that'll be a big game for us. Then we kind of go on down the line with Mountain Ridge week 3, American Fork week 6, and then we get into region play. So yeah, I think there's a lot of great teams out there.
Remind me, was that corner matchup the same as last year? And if not, how did it come to be?
So we were originally slated to play Brighton. We played Brighton week 1 last year. And then once Sutera left to go to Corner
Oh,
from
gotcha.
Brighton, Corner didn't have a week 1, and Brighton was in the midst of finding a new head coach. And so Sutera and I had connected and said, "Hey, let's play week 1."
Nice. What a
Yeah.
treat for high school football fans around the state. Okay, that's Coach Scott Perry, Davis Darts. Heck of a tenure he's had there, and looking to continue it this year with this group of great players. Thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll see you on Friday nights.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Thank
Quick
you.
break. You got it.
Thank
Region
you.
1 Media Day continues right after this. This interview is brought to you by Appliance Wholesalers Plus. Trust the boys that sell GE and Samsung at AWP. They've been supporting Region 9 athletes for over 25 years at AWP. Welcome back. Region 1 Football Media Day. We've got the Layton Lancers. Coach Thomas and a bunch of his star players are here with us. And Coach, before we get started, I wanted to congratulate Jack Anderson for recently joining the 1,000-pound club. How the heck did he do? How did he do that, Coach?
Jack he works hard. He dedicates himself in the weight room. When I go to the gym, I've seen him at 2 different gyms. So I've seen him in gyms and just local gyms around here, just running into him, and he's working out. So
Dang. Well, congratulations,
Yep.
Jack.
I appreciate it.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Coach, give me a just kind of a state of the team right now. I know we're just kind of approaching summer camp, but you're doing different 7-on-7s and stuff like that. Just give me your excitement about this group for 2026.
You know, this group, we have some returners coming back in the right spots. So we have a lot of returners with our O line and our D line. They're talking 2-year, 3-year starters, and they're pretty big. And then we're going to have some skilled guys that are back with Carter Hughes and Luke Byers, and then these guys that are on the show here. So, and then we're just going to have to fill in some other spots with some younger kids.
And off the top of your head, do you know the returning starter amount for offense and defense?
I just had to fill something out for the Des News. So it's tough because some kids started like 5 games.
Yeah.
So we're right about, our whole O line is back except for our center. So 4 out of the 5 are back. And then D line, we have 3 or 4 that are back because we rotate them a lot. Jack is actually will play between D end and linebacker, and then plus tight end. So
Okay, excellent. And then we're just going to kind of go phase by phase here, Coach, through the offense and defense, and I'll have you give me a little bit of an evaluation. Let's start with the quarterback situation right now, heading into the summer.
So the situation we have is we're gonna have a sophomore be the starting quarterback. He started the last 3 games last year as a freshman. And then we have a junior to be QB that will back him up, or Carter Hughes, who's our wide receiver DB. He's also played quarterback before. He can step in if needed.
And what's the name of the sophomore?
Sophomore to be is Tillman Thomas.
Okay, sophomore to be Tillman Thomas. Okay, awesome. And then let's go to Taft for a second. Taft, looking good, buddy.
Thank you. Hello.
Thanks for being here.
Of course, thank you
Tell
for
me
inviting
about the receiving core this year for the Lancers.
What do you want to know?
Just give me a couple of names, what they do well, and what you think as a group you do well and will do well this year.
I think personally, something that has excited me with the receivers this year, we're a lot closer than the core last year, like chemistry wise. And I think it's a different level of like the mental game has stepped up, I feel like people are knowing where to be more. And yeah, so specifically like Carter brings a very like aspect of speed, track star kind of.
Yeah.
And then I would say we have guys like more slot guys like Drew Goddard and Harper Fulmer, where they're like, I just feel like they know how to, like, they're really good with their hands are really good. They know where to be. I feel like over the middle, they've been doing really well in spring practices, summer practices.
And coach, tell me about your offensive coordinator. What type of guy is he? What's his style of play calling?
You know, so Coy Cannon, he's been the OC since I've been here.
Yeah.
Um, he's actually a nephew. He's my nephew. He does, I think he's really, really smart, really intelligent with things that he does. He likes to spread it out, try to get the ball to certain people, the progression with the QB. I think the passing game, when run well, is pretty good, especially with Marcus Camp helping him with the passing game stuff. So
All right, excellent. Let's go to Liam Arizmendi. What's up, Liam? How are you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Who's the fastest guy on the team this year? Who's the toughest guy for you to beat in a sprint at the end of practice?
Fastest, I would definitely say it would be Carter Hughes since he's like taps at his track start.
He's
And
one of the fastest guys in the state, probably, right?
that's
All right, so that was an easy question. What's your favorite part? You're a receiver, you play defensive back as well. What's your favorite part about this team, or what's the personality of this group this year that gives you some excitement about going into the season?
I just love the coaching staff and the group of people I'm around. Like I'm friends with everyone and it's just I love being active and I love playing with this team because I've known all these guys for so many years. So yeah.
What's the running back room like this year? Liam, if you want to answer that question, how are the running backs looking?
I know Luke Byers will be a running back and Jake Strong. I think Luke Byers could do really well, and same with Jake Strong. And that's all I know for the running backs because I don't really know who else is going to try out for running back.
Okay, anything to add to that, coach?
Luke will get some touches. He's also our middle linebacker. He broke our school record for tackles last year. So, but we're gonna mix him in at running back, and you'll have Jake Strong as well. And then we have two other sophomore to be that will be up with us, and they'll fill in other parts for the running backs if needed.
Okay.
So they'll be up with varsity with us too. Carson Turner and Becca Godfrey.
Okay, cool. And then offensive line, I guess I'll ask you this question too about that unit, coach. Just, guys coming back that are going to be key and maybe a guy that you're looking to step up this season.
We got the two twins that's been here, the Jaden Alexander Williams that play inside, so they'll play the guards positions. They're both probably about 270, about 5'11", but our tackles are both about 6'4", over 300 pounds, both of them. Trey McKinley is the one that a lot of people are looking at and like, he's our left tackle. He's only going to be a junior. So, and he'll play both sides of the ball, but he's pretty big over there protecting our quarterback, so the blind side.
And in the trenches in Region One over your tenure there, has it been where you guys are even or better than pretty much everybody? Or I know it's a big region generally, but how do you guys match up size wise in the trenches on both sides most of the time in region matchups?
It's funny that people ask because you get here and you get see the kids all the time, and you don't think that they're big. But then you talk to other coaches, and they're like, "Oh, you got some big line." And so ever since I've been here, the other coaches, and we've always had a good big offensive line, and we're going to have another big offensive line. I mean, the biggest question mark right now for our O line is going to be center. Who's going to play center for us? So
Okay.
we got some kids that are battling, and we'll see after camp where we're at.
Okay, let's go to Jack, who plays, I think, a little bit on both sides of the ball. But Jack, I'll ask you about on the defensive side, the defensive front. Let's start with the D line. Um, what do you think you guys are
Could
going
you
to
cut
do?
out? I think I don't know if that was on my end. Could you repeat
Oh, yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
statement?
Sorry. I was just asking you about the defensive line this year, Jack,
Yeah.
and where you think you'll excel as a unit this year, and something you're excited about maybe individually as well.
Yeah. So we got some big dudes up front. I know like me, Trey, and Darius were all just at the BYU camp.
What's
Had a great
Trey and
time.
Darius's last name?
So that's Trey McKinley and then Darius. Is it Famoa?
Boamo.
Foamo.
Boamo.
hmm Yeah. So they'll both be at the ends, and then I think it's I'll be on the inside, I think, along with probably Xander Williams. So we got a big upfront group. We're all excelling in the weight room, and we all have like extra. We'll go to extra trainings and stuff all together with our D line coach, and those have been a lot of fun to, I don't know, get closer to the rest of the linemen and just like find out how everything fits into place together. So I don't know, it's all been working so far, and
And
we'll probably just excel. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like a lot of us have like size, like Darius and Trey especially are like super tall, big guys. They'll be able to contain the edges for us, and then obviously Xander's a big guy too, so he'll be playing the one tech and he'll be inside just eating up blocks. And I think when I'm on the D line, I'm more of a speed guy. I'll be able to get off the ball quick and hopefully get in the backfield, stop some runs, and we'll go from there.
Coach, what separates Jack Anderson as a high school kind of standout D lineman slash tight end? Like, what are some of the things that you would point to? Like, obviously, he's physically gifted, but maybe beyond that, that have contributed to him having a big impact on this program.
Well, since I've been here and I believe, when I got here, they were freshmen. One thing that I've noticed with Jack is his motor. Just he's always going, and wants to do well on everything. Sometimes he'll overthink things when he doesn't need to, but his motor is just great. And he's just always wants to do well and for the team, do whatever it takes for the team.
Okay, you mentioned, I think it was Byers, who's the middle linebacker who had the record amount of tackles last year.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some other linebackers, just talking about that group as a whole, coach.
So with us running we'll either be like a 4-2-5. So we got that hybrid safety, but
Yeah.
the other backer that we have, so our wheel backer to the boundary is going to be Nate Wenzel. He's a junior. He started last year as a sophomore for us, about middle of the year on he was our buck safety. So we moved him inside this year, and he'll do well in there. And then we have two backups. One will be a sophomore, Milo. One will be a junior with Crew, and I think we'll be pretty dang good there at the linebacker position.
And then lastly, let's go to the secondary coach. Maybe something you think is a strength of this year's group, and maybe something that you want to see some improvement on heading into the season.
Well, we only return one guy basically in the back end, and that's going to be Carter. Moved him from safety to our boundary corner.
Okay.
And so the other guys, so you're looking at Liam he'll be the field corner. And then we got some young bucks that are going to have to be the free safety and our other safeties. And we've mixed Taft in a little bit on defense, but he's been more wide receiver. And then just some younger kids that even haven't been there yet, but will be there. That's going to have to be down there and play. So we'll have two sophomores, or at least one sophomore off the bat with Drew Goddard at free. Then my boy will probably mix in a little bit as well, depending on wide receivers and that kind of stuff, because he plays wide receiver as well. So just depends. But like Taft has picked it up really well for never playing defense before. So
Okay, excellent. Good to hear. Let's go to Taft. We're going to do a little rapid fire here with the players to get to know some of your teammates. Who squats the most on this team, Taft? And you guys may have already alluded to this, but who's the big lifter in the weight room?
If we're talking purely squat, I believe Titan Chance squats the most. I think Jack is up there as well. I know
Okay.
Jack set records for power clean and squat, but
What
I think
position
Titan is Titan's on the O line.
Okay. Awesome. And then let's go to Liam. On either side of the ball, you can pick this one. Who's a guy, maybe except for like a quarterback, who's like impressed you with their knowledge of the game, like a cerebral player who's almost like a coach on the field?
Definitely Luke Byers, because I think he's a really big leader on the team, and he just knows everything he needs to do play wise and just common knowledge in the game.
Awesome. And then Jack, I was going to ask you the guy you don't want to see in hitting drills and a hamburger drill or something like that, Oklahoma. You ain't afraid of anybody, but who's able to challenge you a little bit in those drills, Jack? I think you're mute.
Jack.
There you go.
There we go. I will say the first practice that Darius came sophomore year, the hardest I've ever been hit was when he was playing safety and I was a tight end. That's probably the hardest I've been hit. So Darius might be up there. I'd be, that's a guy that could really challenge me going against him. But I'll
Okay.
take myself against anyone.
That a
So
boy. And then anybody can answer this, including the coach. Who puts the most effort into looking good in their uniform on Friday nights?
All of
I want coach to answer this one.
Yeah. They all do with their drip. All right. I don't care as long as it's what's in the rules and we're all right. I want them to be themselves. So, but they all like to their drip.
They all look good. That's good. Do you guys have a super fan? I don't know if there's a student who really gets going in the student section to lead the cheers, or a grandma or somebody who's been around forever. Is there somebody that comes to mind?
Each year these high school kids, they pick somebody from the senior class that does it.
Oh, cool.
I've been around Layton football since I was born, basically. My dad graduated from here the first year and played football. And there's people in the community that now have passed away that were the ones. So this community is great that way. They just love to come out no matter what. So
Love it. Love it. That is great. And then just give me a brief little preview of week one, coach, against Timpview and your excitement for that matchup.
we got that game late. We were supposed to play Tooele, and we just decided not to play. And so I had to pick up a game, and it was between Timpview or West, and pick your poison there. And so we went with Timpview, and I'm excited for the challenge. Okay, they're going to be good. People are like, they're down. I'm like, well, they're down is still pretty good. So, and they got some dudes that are really well, but I think we do too. And I think we're up for the challenge. And after that first week, we know where we're at and we know what we need to do. So, depending on how that week goes.
All right. That's Coach Trevor Thomas, Layton Lancers, with us here on Region 1 Football Media Day. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I know it's a busy part of the year for all of you. Thanks for making time for us on Media Day, and we'll be watching you on Friday nights throughout the year.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Quick break. Back with more on the Rush Media Day right after this. Brought to you by ProLook. We love ProLook. We love the uniforms. If you look around the state, the best uniforms, the look, the custom feel, the uniqueness of the design are usually ProLook uniforms. Get 100% custom premium jerseys built specifically for your team. You can launch a free 24/7 online team store with zero minimums. Coaches apparel, fans apparel, ProLook does it all, and it's all awesome. Go check out ProLook at prolook.com. Welcome back, Region 1 Football Media Day. We got Coach Mitch Tulane and Syracuse here with us with a couple of his players. Coach, before we get started, I want to ask you about the parent combine, my friend. We were talking about it just a minute ago, but tell the folks at home that might not know about it, who aren't a part of your program, what you do and how cool it is.
Yes, the parent combine is just an opportunity to get parents associated with the program. They show up, we put them through drills. Let the coaches coach them, the players coach them. We keep track of all their scores, and it's really just an opportunity to get them next to the program and introduced to us. And then at the end of it, we let the moms tackle their kids, and the moms and dads both compete in a variety of different drills, and it's just a good time.
Ledger, how'd that go for you going to Oklahoma drill with your mom? Did she get the best of you, or what happened there, buddy?
I was actually I was unfortunately able to not make that with my
Oh,
mom.
shoot.
Yeah.
Well, let her take a shot at home, I guess.
Yeah, I'll film that and send that in.
Okay, Coach. Let's start with you as a defensive play caller first, and then I'll ask you about Coach Hamblin on the offensive side for Syracuse this year. But just give me a little description about what style you like to run defensively and your personality as a defensive play caller.
Yeah, it's shifted over the years since I've been calling it. I played at Weber State for Coach Jay Hill. That's kind of where a lot of my philosophy comes from and how we play defense. We're a 4-2-5 base. Really, we have three safeties that I think are some of our best football players that fly around, funnel the defense to them. But you have to have a stout defensive line, which I think we have this year. The backers have to, control the box and be able to run space. But yeah, I like to be aggressive. We play man, zone, whatever we need. But just being as aggressive when we need to be and conservative when we need to be, and the game plan depending on who we're playing. Um, Really, just playing. It's how we play, not really what we play.
Excellent. And then I was going to ask you about Coach Hamblin. How would you describe his offensive style, philosophy?
Yeah, Coach Hamlin's he's really really good offensive coordinator. He's been doing it as long as I've been doing it. We're both Syracuse High alumni. He was my quarterback when I was in high school, and he runs an offense like kids want to play in. Sometimes when we have the weapons, we'll throw the ball 80% of the time. Last year, I think we were 65% run. We just try to mold what we have as far as talent goes to get the best out of the kids. But we're spread, and we like to have a athletic quarterback that can run it, but also throw it. We like to control the line of scrimmage. I think we did a really good job of that last year. But like I said, he's just really dynamic in adapting to our personnel.
Okay, let's start with kind of an evaluation of the offensive line coming back this year, Coach. Just how experienced are they? How big are they? And maybe a key guy that you're looking to kind of benchmark that unit this season for the Titans.
Yeah, so up front, we're going to be young. We have the potential to start 3 or 4 underclassmen on the O line, so we're replacing a lot of guys. The one guy we do return is Molavai Pula, who's got several P4 offers, and he's the anchor of what we do running the football. A big kid, 6'3", 350, but real athletic. Was a first team All State kid, so he'll be a kid that we rely on. But the kids that are coming up that are going to have the potential to start, I really really like them. They're going to be young, but they're going to have the opportunity to compete at a high level, which gives us opportunities for success down the road, even in the future.
Okay, awesome. Then let's move. I guess let's go to running back next, Coach. Give me a name or two of kids you expect to be high performers for you.
Last year was the first time in school history we had a 1,000-yard rusher, but we were
Wow.
fortunate to have 2 different 1,000-yard rushers with Ledger rushing over 1,000 yards, and then Riker Van Komen last year had 1,000 yards. So replacing that production is going to be difficult. Fortunately for us, we've got a kid. His name's Ko Prom. He's a sophomore who's electric. He's going to be awesome. I think the state's going to know who he is pretty soon, which is good for him. But he'll tote the rock a lot. And then we have several young kids that have a lot of talent, even behind him, that it'll kind of be a stable because Ko is going to start on defense as well. But he's a name he's electric and super talented. Ko Prom.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, thank you for the first and last names. That'll help me out going forward here. And then let's talk about the quarterback.
Do it.
Just tell me about the leadership, the 7-on-7 stuff, I guess, going into summer, how that's looking, the chemistry between the receivers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Led, this will be his 3rd year starting for us. And every year he's taken gigantic steps forward. This year, the biggest leap forward I've seen so far is his ability to be on time, put the ball where it needs to be. We did a lot of 7 stuff. The relationships he's building with his receivers has been awesome. And we've had a lot of growth over the last week, even in 7s. And we go into our last 7s thing here at the end of this week. But just his continuity with the receivers, understanding where the ball needs to go, when it needs to get there, who he needs to get the ball to. That's been the biggest growth I've seen so far for him.
What percentage would you say, Ledger, of your run production last year was a zone read play, a straight up run, or scrambling for yards on a pass? Like how much of it was I guess just tell me about how your offense is formatted a little bit to fit your talent.
I would say that majority of my runs last year were probably design runs for me. And then I'd say the second most was zone reads, like I'm pulling it an option. And then my third would be scrambles for outside the pocket for big yardage.
And, Coach described this offense as one that is kind of a dream for a player like you probably to be a part of. I'm sure you agree with that, but give me some more color about uh, what this offense is and why it's so fun to be a part of. You guys put up over 30 points a game last year.
Yeah, it's so fun because, like he was saying, there's such a wide spread of being able to throw the ball a lot or run the ball. We have very good plays for being able to just go down and run it. Like we ran for 550 yards last year against Rigby. Then we also have characteristics to be able to throw the ball. We had against Bountiful last year, we threw, I think, for like 350 yards and like 5 touchdowns. So we have a lot of good. That goes back to Braden Hamblin, our offensive coordinator, where we can just we have a lot of availability to sling the ball and run it.
Give me a couple of names in the receiving core ledger, guys that are going to have big years this year.
Parker Moffitt is a big guy. He's going to be a junior. He's going to be my so my guy that's ISO'd a lot. We've been going to practice early, like 45 minutes early, working on our chemistry, getting it down. He's great hands, great route running, he's fast. He's going to be a great guy. And then even Caleb's going to get in on some action on the offense. I'm really excited to him. He's going to be a big target. And those are probably two main guys.
Okay, excellent. Coach, let's talk about Caleb. You were just talking, before talking about your defense and how you count on the secondary, to be kind of dogs coming up and helping them to run, stuff like that. Just tell me about Caleb's game and what you like about what he does for you.
Yeah, Caleb was a kid that came in as a sophomore and wasn't a guy that we thought was going to be a starter when he was a sophomore, but he was always in the right spot. And then when you watched how he played the game and how he played the position, it was just easy to put him in there. In his first game starting varsity a couple of years ago, he had an interception, which is huge, confidence builder.
Yeah.
From there, last year as a junior, he just took over that role. His best attributes, he's physical. He likes to hit, which is great for a middle safety. It deters people throwing up those seams. And then he can run. He can run for days at the same tempo, the same pace, which is why he's getting the attention that he is. He looks the part. He is the part. He acts the part. And so we are going to adjust where he's playing this year, insert him more into the box so he can play a little bit more on his toes and get more involved other than just capping the defense off and being our protector, our last line of defense, and put him in to make more plays inside the box and next to the line of scrimmage.
Awesome. All right, Caleb, tell me about your excitement for that, getting more opportunities up closer to the line of scrimmage. And then I'll also ask you about some of your other secondary members and even in linebackers too.
I think it'll be a lot different than playing free safety because back there I was kind of a little bit more free. I could, I don't know, play the run from different spots, but having strong side and just already being more in the box, I think I'm going to stack up a lot more tackles and have the opportunity to make more picks and just make more plays overall when I'm closer to the ball. So I'm excited to be in the box.
Give me another couple of guys who are going to either in the box with you at linebackers or guys behind you or to the sides of you in the secondary who you guys are counting on to be big playmakers this year again.
I think all three of our safeties. We have Kale Prom at our free safety, our running back, and then we have Parker Moffitt, one of our other leading receivers, and he's going to be at the other safety. So I think all three safety positions are filled great, and I think we'll all be making plays all season. I think the defense will run off of us three, and we make plays. We're going to make everybody else play better, and we're going to get the defense rolling.
Excellent. And then, Coach, give me a evaluation of the defensive line this year and a couple of names.
Yeah, this is the group I might be most excited for. We'll still be fairly young, but those guys have worked their tails off this offseason. We returned 4 or 5 guys that maybe didn't start every game, but played significant amount of reps last year. Luke Stringfellow is a defensive tackle who's super athletic for playing inside, has a great knack for the football. Molavai Pula, again, will play both ways as a one tech, and he's a horse. And then Jace Cook as another kid who will play inside and outside that I'm really excited about. And then our two ends are probably more athletic than most ends that we'll see this year. In Cooper Smith and Tabor Going, both of those kids just have motors and can go like crazy. So if we can control the A and B gaps and let those guys on the edge kind of do what they can do, I'm really excited for that D line play this year.
Excellent. That is great insight. Thanks for sharing all this stuff, guys. And then let's see. I'll ask Ledger this question. Who's the toughest guy for you to beat in a 40-yard dash, Ledger, on the team?
Those guys, probably Kale Prom.
Okay. And he's a guy that's been mentioned a few times. Coach was pointing to himself, Ledger. What do you think about that matchup? Okay,
Maybe
and then let's
20
go.
years ago.
Let's go, Caleb, with this one. Who squats the most on the team?
Oh, dude, Jace Cook probably. He's got like 800 pounds on his back for
Oh my
squat
gosh.
day, and he's over there like repping out 5 plates, and I mean, yeah,
Good heavens.
I know.
Besides the quarterback coach, actually, I don't want to make coach answer this question. Caleb, you're gonna have to answer this one.
Yes, sir.
Besides the quarterback, and maybe you can think more defensively for this one, who's a guy out there who's like super cerebral, coach on the field, knows a lot about the X's and O's of football, and you're like, wow, this guy knows what's up out here. Besides
I think
yourself, of course.
Parker Moffitt's another one that he's kind of just like he's a smart football player, and he kind of knows like all the little nicks and knacks of football, especially with me playing receiver a lot this year. He's been helping me with where to sit and where to find space and stuff. So I think
Nice.
he's one of the guys that are on the smarter side.
Coach, who's a guy that when you're doing the Oklahoma drill or something, you're like, dang, this kid's got some pop when he's hitting people. Other than these two guys, who's bringing the heat in summer camp in the next couple of weeks when you guys put on some pads?
Yeah, so that's a question that I'm excited to find out about. We've been hit with the injury bug a little bit this spring, which I'd rather have it happen in the spring than in the
Yeah,
fall. We've got a lot of open competition right now. When I think of the linebackers, I think of Isaac Schmidt, I think of Will Norton, I think of Caleb Brown, I think of Jack Benoit, where those guys they're all very capable football players. There's only two spots for them. And so I'm loving the competition we're having going into the summer for one of those guys to solidify themselves or both of them as our two linebackers heading into the season.
excellent. Ledger, who on the team puts the most effort into looking good in their uniform on Friday nights?
I think it's got to be Caleb.
Oh, really? Tell me about
Yeah.
your drip, Caleb.
I try and switch it up every game. You know, every game's a different look. I'll go baggy long sleeve, maybe double arm sleeve, maybe double leg sleeve. Like it kind of just depends on the game, what I'm feeling, and what our jersey combo is. And my favorite jersey combo, probably the black on black. So
Oh, nice. And you guys got a sweet just Syracuse's color scheme, right, Coach? I mean, that's one of the best in the state, right?
Yeah, I really like the blue and green for sure.
Same. Okay. Does Syracuse have a super fan coach, either a grandpa that's been following the team for the last, whatever years, or a mom, or a player, or not a player, a student up in the student section who gets everybody rallied up? What's that like as far as super fans at Syracuse?
A couple of years ago, our student section, the Curse, they won one of those Instagram polls as the best student section in the country.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
when we have a home game, those guys they bring it, right? And they make sure that our administration at the school has a full-time job on their hands, keeping it a little bit in check. But we love those guys. They do a great job supporting us. They're noisy, they're rowdy, and they give us home field advantage for sure. So the Curse as a whole.
Love it. And then I got to let you guys go, but tell me about that week one matchup against Woods Cross, Coach.
Yeah, Woods Cross presents a lot of matchup issues. They run that triple option and they run it really well. Brody does a great job teaching it. So I love starting with them because they're one of the more physical football teams that we see, and so it makes us get after it right away. We got to be great tacklers. We got to play with our hands. They play great defense. They'll man you up. They'll press you at the line of scrimmage. Their backers are downhill aggressive football players, and so I really like the physical matchup week one to kind of knock the dust off or the rust
Yeah.
off from the off season.
Love it. Thank you guys so much. It was awesome to talk to you. That's Coach Mitch Tulane from Syracuse with Ledger White and Caleb Hall. We'll be pulling for you guys. Good luck this upcoming season, and I'm sure we'll be in touch throughout the year. Thanks a lot, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Sponsored by Grass Creek Construction, bringing visions to life for over 20 years. Welcome back, Region 1 Football Media Day. We got the Weber Warriors in the house with Coach Mo Cannon and a bunch of his star players. We're going to learn all about this year's team and the roster beyond even just the guys that are here. But, Coach, the first thing I wanted to point out that I recognize, a lot of bell ringing this offseason in the weight room. Guys, I don't know what that means, but they're maxing out, getting excited. Talk about the effort this group has had putting up weight this year.
Oh man, it's been tremendous. The fun part about this for me right now is these two, there's two in this group right now, Eli and Falcon, that were sophomores when I first got up here. And Creed and Carter were both ninth graders when I first got up here. So the growth that I've seen from them from start to where we are right now has been insane. But the PR bell, that's something that we pulled from Weber State. It's just a fun way to be able to recognize guys in the weight room when they hit new maxes. But the off season has been super efficient as far as weight gain, maxes, and the numbers that have sprouted up from that. But weight gain was something huge for us to be able to hit this off season. I had some offensive linemen hint that ended the season at about 210 pounds, and we can't do that again this year. So we're working our tails off for that for sure.
Yeah, that's always hard. They sweat a lot playing as hard as they do. Okay, let's start with coaching philosophy. I know a lot about you, Coach, but tell me a little bit about your coordinators. Let's start with your offensive coordinator. Just tell me what he's like as a coach, his offensive philosophy, and why you hired him.
Oh yeah. So Chad Davis, he calls our offense for us. Let's just say baby Dan Campbell. He's a big Detroit fan too as well. He's the type of guy and he works perfectly with me too, because my biggest philosophy in high school is making this thing fun for these boys. So when we can catch momentum, we're going to. And with this group, building the confidence for them to be able to go for it on fourth downs, let you know a little bit about our offense. We want to be able to obviously take the top off, but it starts with us on the ground game to be able to open up guys that we have on the outside. But our strength this year on the offensive side for sure is going to be our receiver core and our quarterback.
Okay, excellent. And then let's do the same for the defensive coordinator and what his style is.
Billy Plume. So Coach Billy's been coaching longer than I've been alive. He's a stud, man. He's been around for a very long time. He's the type of guy that's going to throw multiple looks at you. He gets a lot of his stuff from the Utah coach Witt tree, and being able to give guys things to think about on film. So, they're ready to pin their ears back and go make big time plays. And we've got some fun returners in the secondary and up front for us that it should be a good year.
Okay, excellent. That's Coach Mo Cannon. We'll get a bunch more from him, but I'm going to move to the players. Let's go to Falcon Moorhead, who's on that offensive line. Falcon, will you tell me about your brothers in the O-line? Maybe give me a couple of names of guys who are going to be high performers for you this year. Are you a big group relative in Region 1? Just kind of give me a bird's eye view of the unit this year.
Yeah, so we have two returning starters this year. It's gonna be me and Bryce Myers, and us two is gonna be a really big piece, I think. And also we have a new transfer who's Isaac, and my actual brother Titan Moorhead fighting for the center position. And we have a few undecided spots too, but Russian Stark will be helping us out too, and he's a dog. We're all dogs up front. And I think relatively we're a pretty tall group,
Okay.
but not the biggest, but we're the biggest.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. And Coach Cannon, tell me about what separates Falcon as a high school offensive lineman.
Falcon's a fighter. That's the biggest thing. And he kind of just explained that right there. We're not the biggest, but we're the biggest. The mindset is a very powerful thing. And, I made it very clear to these guys when I got up there, we're not going to be the biggest group out there at all, but we're going to be technicians and we're going to fight from whistle to whistle. And the biggest thing that separates Falcon is he's got that dog in him. He's got that ability to be able to fight, and if he gets punched in the mouth, you kind of see that flip switch a little bit and he turns it on. So that's the fun thing about him and the rest of the guys that we have up front. You're on mute right now, Andy.
What an amateur. Holy moly, am I embarrassed. All right, we're going to Carter Payne, quarterback. Carter, what do you like about this offensive system? Where do you think you guys will improve from last year? And I guess give me a little bit on 7-on-7. There's about 9 questions for you. Go ahead.
No, I think it's going to be a fun year with this offense. I think we got a lot of guys that can make plays on the outside, and then we also got a lot of depth in the tight end room too, so it should be fun. I think that our main type of thing would be probably just going deep and then having the ability to just get yards too on the ground. I think from 7-on-7, what our team's learned a lot of is just like finding the open gaps and just making plays. I feel like we were a pretty young group last year on the receiving core, and I think having all that experience is going to help a lot this year. So I think it should be pretty fun and explosive this year.
Wow, he remembered all those questions and answered them perfectly in order, Coach. Tell me
Elite.
about Carter's intelligence running this program. He seems like a genius.
This has been in the making. This has been in the making. I remember specifically having a conversation with this kid when he was 14 years old, knowing that he was more than likely going to go into my first year as the 2 quarterback. I told him he's going to have opportunity. I told him that it's going to come. We're going to put a lot on your shoulders, and we expect you to handle it. And there's a good little feedback when it comes to his family. All these guys kind of have that mindset. And he looked me in my eyes and said, I'm ready to go. And sure enough, he ended up starting the first 4 games for us and torching teams. So this has been in the making. Carter's a very sharp kid. He's a dude that understands what he wants, and he does everything in his power to ensure that the people around him are setting the standard and holding the standard so that we can make sure that we're successful as a unit.
Speaking of dudes, let's go to Creed DeVries. Did you know he was going to be as big of a dude as he was as a young guy on last year's team? The answer is probably
Yeah.
yes, but what do you
Yeah.
think?
It's the same thing. Creed comes from a great family too, as well. Both of those dudes definitely stood out to me my first year up there. Creed's been jumping 5 or 6 45-pound plates on top of our boxes since 9th grade. So I knew he was going to have the length and have the ability. The biggest thing for us was figuring out how tough he would be in pads. And we were expecting him to be a piece for us as a 9th grader too, but he ended up tearing his labrum in summer camp. And, he was a younger guy. So it was like, let's get the surgery now so that we can have you later on. And, him coming back as a sophomore, I mean, the tape speaks for itself that he's a big time explosive dude. And there's a lot more things to come from him for sure.
Okay, Creed, I'm gonna awkwardly ask you to talk a little about yourself. Usually I'll have you talk about your teammates, but I want to get your perspective on what you take pride in. What aspect of your game as a receiver specifically do you take pride in playing for the Warriors?
I think one of the biggest things I take pride in is not taking like plays off. I think as a receiver, some people think that, you know, obviously sometimes the ball won't come to you and you know it, and some people just think that's a time to hurry and take a play off. But I think that's where I'm good at, where I won't take it off and I'll go as like a decoy and as a distraction to get other like teammates open and get them the ball.
What was your favorite game last year, either individually or a team or a game when the team played really well, or your favorite win? What do you think?
Probably the Viewmont game. I had 3 touchdowns in the first half, and our running back Dyson, he went off, and it was just a super explosive night from our offense.
Excellent. And I'll be back to all of you guys here, but I didn't ask, I don't think I've asked about running back, your running back room yet, Coach. Can you give me a little color on what that looks like this year?
Oh yeah, so that job right now is up in the air, but we've got 3 or 4 dudes that are very, very capable to make things happen for us. And so within our system, we're a playmaking system. So you're going to see multiple guys in the backfield for us that have the ability to do a lot of things. So right now it's kind of up in the air, but we got a good feel of who we know we can go out and win with.
Okay, excellent. Let's go to the defensive side, coach. Tell me about Eli Swenson, who's in the middle of that D line for you guys this year.
This dude's offseason has been special, and it is super exciting for us leading into his senior year. Same kind of idea when I got up here with him being that sophomore body. I kind of had a feeling that he was going to grow into something, but he's going into his 3rd year as a starter. You know, he started for us since his sophomore year. I think this year he has the most confidence, and his body is developing to where he feels like he can play with that confidence. We're super excited for Eli to be able to anchor the interior for us.
Excellent. Eli, tell me about some of your brothers in the trenches on that defensive line. Give me some names and what some of them do well, as well as obviously that complements what you do well.
You're on mute too, Eli.
Am I there?
There you go, buddy. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what was the question again? Sorry.
Just tell me about some of the other guys on this defensive line and why you think this group will be effective this year in Region 1.
Yeah, I think we have a sophomore who's now a junior, Ethan McKinney. He started last year. I think he'll be huge for us on helping to make plays. And then also Joel Carrillo. He's a explosive playmaker. I think has the opportunity to make lots of good plays on the defensive side of the ball this year.
Cool. What about linebackers this year? How's that unit looking?
Yeah, I think it'll be looking really good. Lots of playmakers. I think there's still like a few spots that are up in the air right now, but just lots of guys who are willing to battle and play for their brothers.
Coach, anything to add on the linebacking core in the secondary?
Yeah, I think Eli hit that perfectly. I mean, secondary wise, we've got returners coming back that have played a lot of football for us within Bracken Day, Carson Hill, Creed, Drayson Munoz. Like, we've got a lot of dudes that have played a lot of good football for us when it comes to that DB aspect, with a lot of fun incomers coming up as well. But the linebacking core, that's going to be tough for us this year. Coach Billy's actually talking a lot about that because last year we were young. You know, my first year, we only had 2 teams. We had the varsity team and the sophomore team. So last year, seniors didn't get an opportunity year 1 to really go out. They were special teams guys, backups. Some of them played. And that's just what it is. So now these guys going into their senior years and their junior years, everybody has played reps and everybody has seen it and done it. So, you know, Reese Cantwell's returning within that group, which we're super excited about. Wyatt Nielsen's going to be a good piece for us. Owen Johnson's going to be a good piece. We've got Sawyer Jensen. He's going to be a good piece. There's so many guys in there in the mix. And then we've got 2 ninth graders too as well in Grayson Young and Caleb Romero that are going to be really fun pieces as well. So it's up in the air, man. It's a fun position right now where there's a lot of people battling, and we're excited to see where it goes.
And then give me just a little something on the secondary, coach.
Oh yeah, the secondary stacked. I'm excited. Those guys are going to be no fly zone this year. Bracken Day and Carson Hill are going to be in that back end. You're going to see Creed in that back end. You're going to see Creed at the corner position, Drayson at the corner position. Aiden Carpenter is going to be a guy that gets into the mix for us. We're super excited about our DB core, and Bridger Rasmussen, another dude that nobody really knows about that's going to be at that corner position. There's guys that are going to make a lot of plays this year, and it's exciting.
You know, I've interviewed probably 20 teams now, and I haven't asked about one kicker. Should I ask about a kicker?
You can ask about a kicker, and you asking me about the one spot that's really in the air. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. You know, I was blessed my first 2 years up here to have Alex Johnson, and then last year having some good dudes come out and be able to help us out. You know, but Zach Jenkins is taking the lead in that right now. We're super excited for Zach, but that's a position right there that will constantly be battled out, and we're excited to see where that goes.
All right. Creed or, you know, Carter or whoever. I know it's hard to be friends with soccer players, but sometimes you got to put your arm around one of them and get them over to the football field. But all right, let's do a little quick rapid fire here. Carter, I'll start with you. Who's got the fastest 40-yard dash time on the team this year?
Um, I think as of right now, it's either Creed or Bridger Rasmussen. I think those two can fly pretty fast. So, but I'm right up there with them. So,
Attaboy. Let's go to Falcon. Who's squatted the most this year?
I think it's either Eli or Reese Cantwell. They're both pretty high up there. Or also one Isaac Jacobson, the transfer. They're up there pretty high.
All right, Carter, who's the most cerebral, like, oh, this kid is smart out here. He sees stuff before that it happens. Coach on the field guy, besides yourself, give me a player like that on this year's team.
I would say Drayson Munoz has some sneaky IQ to him, some good football IQ to him. I think that shows when he plays corner, and then I think that it really shows when he plays the receiver, just being able to find open gaps and torch defenses.
Excellent. Eli, who is the guy that challenges you most in hitting drills?
I would say Falcon. It's always like, hey, we're next up on the hitting drills. So yeah.
Boom. I guess I probably could have guessed that. Who puts the most effort into looking good in their uniform on Friday nights?
You asking me?
Um,
Because Four's in the chat right now. Four could speak up real quick.
okay, go for it.
Yeah, I think it's either me or Bracken Day. We like to put on some good drip. Even Carter, we all probably have the best drip on the team, I think.
Okay, excellent. Let's see. Do you guys have a super fan at Weber? Some schools do, some like a grandpa or somebody who's been coming to games for years, or even a student who like is diehard or whatever.
I think Weber High School is notorious for that. I mean, we get people that come out to our games that graduated 30, 40 years ago. So I think that it's such a generational thing up there that there's probably multiple super fans for sure. But we don't got anybody that's going crazy for us and doing anything like that. So
Okay. Excellent. And then coach, I got to get you guys out of here. Dang, it's too fun talking with these Warriors. Give me just a quick little preview of your week one matchup against Fremont.
we're excited. You know, Fremont's a very well coached team. You know, we know those guys over there very well. It's going to be a fun matchup because I think both teams kind of have some unknowns, some things that they've got to figure out. So we're excited to go over there. It's a fun little color rush game. We like to put on our red jerseys. They wear their blue
Oh,
jerseys.
cool.
So it's a fun environment. And, you know, we're going to kind of just let our pads talk when it comes to that one. I don't got much more.
Love it. Thanks a lot. Coach Mo, everybody, his star players, Weber Warriors up on the hill this year. We'll be watching you on Friday nights. Thanks so much for your time, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Andy.
Quick break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. Region 1 Football Media Day rolls on. We've got Farmington in the house. And I think our buddy at Slinging the Pill had Farmington High as the best uniforms in the whole dang state. And I got to tell you, it's hard to argue with that, Coach. Do you agree? New school already taking the cake with that award. That's kind of a cool thing, right?
I do. We have a ton of things going on for us, and uniforms is one of them. Although we pride ourselves with how we look out there, more importantly, we want to make sure that we're outfitted correctly on the field, and then bringing the physicality and the toughness part of that to the field.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You guys do it all. I was just talking about how awesome your social media looks and all the stuff you guys are doing in the off season. It looks like a lot of fun out there. Coach, let's talk about, I guess let's start on the defensive side of the ball and just kind of for those that might not be as familiar with Region 1 or Farmington, kind of describe your philosophy on the defensive side as a play caller.
So our defensive coordinator is Trent Preston. This is his second year as well, taking over the calling duties for the defense. But I think physicality and then just playing sound defense is the biggest part of it. We want to make sure that you're at the right place, the right time, be able to be in position and execute at a high level and get the ball away from the other team's offense. But I think physicality is the biggest thing that we've been working on in the off season, is not only in the weight room, but also during practice. Can't wait to get the pads back on, but
Yeah.
that's something we focused on heavily going into the summer.
Okay, cool. And then I'll ask you the same thing about how would you describe your offensive philosophy?
Yeah. Offensively, so I call the offense, and the offense is we're fast paced. We like to get the ball moving. Where we struggle a little bit with the size up front, we want to make sure that we're catching teams off balance with motions, personnel, and then we want to make sure that we're executing at a high level as well.
I guess let's start with returning starters, coach. It's kind of a media day question that sometimes, doesn't, it's hard to answer sometimes, but let's start with
Yeah.
on offense and then defense, returning starters back from last year.
We have a few, so we're moving and transitioning to a platooning system. So we only have a couple of starters on the offense that were pegged that were starters last year, and then primarily on either side of the ball, we're going to have them start on one side of the ball, but not on the other. So as we're transitioning to that, we only have a couple of guys
Okay.
that are going to return, and that's going to be up front. Liam Nilsson is our starting center. He'll be returning, and then a couple guys on the O line. But skill wise, we're going to have to re-outfit some guys, and then on the outside is Ty Runyon. He'll play our X single receiver side, typically singled up. He's probably the second guy that's returning as a full-time starter this year.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's just go unit through unit. I'll get a quick evaluation from the players and the ones that they're a part of, and
Yeah.
if and the rest from you, coach. Let's start at quarterback. What's that situation like this year for the Phoenix?
So Alton Dahl is returning as the back. He was a backup last year. He's got the nod going into the summer, into the fall. We have a couple of younger guys that are coming up through the ranks. We got a transfer that's coming in. His name's Mason Gilliland, and then we have Logan Thurber, Shemaiah Gaynor, that'll also compete at the quarterback spot. So still open competition, nothing set in stone. But as we're working through our 7-on-7 circuit, Alton Dahl looks to be throwing the ball really well. He's reading defenses pretty well, and the ball's coming out of his hand really quick.
Okay, excellent insight there. Let's go to Ty Runyon at receiver. Ty, give me an evaluation of the receiving core from your perspective. Where do you think that group will excel this year for Farmington? And then I'll ask you about yourself as well.
I think I really like our receiving core this year. We've got some guys coming back with some experience, and then we've also got some younger guys who've got some talent as well. I really like you said, Alton's getting the ball out on time. I feel like we've got a lot of chemistry with our quarterback. I'm really liking that.
Awesome. And then what would you say you take most pride in about your game as a receiver?
I like you said, I'm in the one-on-one matchups. I like to go win those. Yeah, I don't think anyone can guard me. I like being that guy.
Awesome. And coach, do you have anything to add about that receiving group this year?
No, we got some young talent that's coming through. They're developing well through the spring and through the summer. And so I think as long as we're on time and we can protect it for 2 to 3 seconds and the ball's out, I think Ty is going to make a difference for us on the offensive side.
And what's the run? I know this changes every year, but what's typically the run pass ratio with you guys?
We like to be balanced. I mean, I know that's cliche, but we're about 50-50. Last year, we went a little bit more 12 personnel because that's where our senior was. Our seniors were heavy on the tight end side, and so we opted to go unbalanced with our 12 personnel. So we're about 50-50.
Okay. And let's see. Tell me about the running back room right now.
Running backs are really young. We got Kyle College that's coming in. He was a sophomore last year. He'll be a junior.
Okay.
And then we got some younger guys that are coming up through the ranks. But Kyle College will be our starting tailback this year. So we got some bright hopes for him as we like to spread the ball a little bit. Got some big hopes for him.
Okay, excellent. Let's move right along to the offensive line. Tell me, how big are they? Who are some of the guys that are going to be anchoring that unit this season, Coach?
Yeah, at left tackle, we have McKay Glassy. He's about a 6'5", 275. He's going to anchor the left side. So he's kind of been in and out of the starting lineup last year. And so we look for him to solidify that left side along with Liam. And then we got Rowan Henry, and then we got Carson Wismer, Braxton Hill battling it out, the right guard. And then the tackle spot, we got Miles Peterson and Brad Bledsoe that are going to battle it out for the guys up front.
Okay, excellent. Let's go. Let's see. Defensive side of the ball. Let's start. Got a couple of linebackers, I believe, here with you, Coach Easton and Grant. Why don't you tell us about Easton first? What separates him as a linebacker for Farmington?
I think the toughness factor that we talked about at the beginning. He'll be a 4-year starter coming into this season, and he's played a little bit of both sides of the ball, played a little O line, D line, but he's going to focus on the linebacker spot, anchoring down the middle. But I think his toughness and physicality is gonna hold down the middle of the defensive front.
Okay, excellent. Easton, thanks for being with us. Who's the guy you don't want to see in a hitting drill on this team, Easton?
Ooh, I definitely got to go with Grant right here with us. I mean, his physicality and mentality. I mean, he's the guy on the team. You know, he's gonna put in the work. He's gonna grind out with you. He's gonna be right there with you in the trenches and do whatever it takes to end out with a win. So I'd definitely say Grant.
All right, Grant. Actually, tell me more a little bit, Easton, before I go to Grant. Tell me about something besides that he hits hard and is physical. Give me something else you admire about the way he plays the game and what kind of role he'll play this year for the team.
I think he definitely a big difference he made last year was the turnovers he had on our
Oh,
team. I think he's kind of an X factor in that way, being able to get the ball back to the offense, especially in times of need. And I think that'll be something that'll continue to happen this year. So.
excellent. All right, that's great. Thanks, Easton. Let's go to Grant, and I'll ask you the same question about Easton. What do you admire about his game, and what is he going to bring to the table?
Um, what I admire about Easton is, well, obviously he's been a captain since like sophomore year, so we all look up to him like on the leadership side. But then he also just brings the intensity, like no matter where he goes, and he's just super physical kid, and he's always making plays like in the trenches, like no matter how big the line is, like he's always like gonna run somebody over.
Excellent. And remind me, Coach, you may have told me what type of defense do you run typically?
We're an even front.
Okay.
We're quarters based, mixing up the coverages, but yeah, we're even front with the
Okay.
quarter base on the back end.
Okay. And tell me a little bit, Kava kind of does a lot for you guys, but break down what he'll contribute this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised he's quiet. He's usually the loud one. But he'll participate on both sides of the ball. But this year he'll start specifically on the defensive side and then be able to be a swing player where he'll add a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. Labeled as an athlete because he played a little bit of quarterback last year for us. Played downhill at the safety spot. So we look to him to kind of fill in some of the gaps on either side of the ball and in the return game.
Excellent. All right, Kava, let's crack open your mic for the first time, buddy. Um, let's talk about the secondary. There's a lot of good teams in your region, obviously, and the teams you play out of region. Every week's a challenge. Where do you think the secondary, give me an aspect of the game that you think you guys will be good at this year?
I think we'll be really good at just physicality wise, whether it's getting hands on receivers, whether it's run playing the safeties or coming down to hit somebody. I think we're going to be a real physical secondary this year. We're not afraid to hit anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. And yeah, I'm excited to see all my boys ball out.
And give me a name of a guy. I know you want to name 7 guys, but give me a name of 1 or 2 guys who are going to be contributors this year in that third tier of the defense.
I'm gonna say Ethan Larson and Cade McGuire. Our two corners. They're fast, physical, get hands on, and I'm excited to see what they do this year.
Okay, excellent. And I think the only one we have left to do, Coach, is the defensive line. I don't think I've asked you about the big hog mollies up front. What does that look like this year?
Yeah, we got 2 returning guys, rotational guys. Actually, they are starters. Alex Peterson, Emmett Bocut will hold the edges on the outside. We got a couple guys on the interior that are battling that on the inside. But yeah, look forward to getting some knockbacks, some push on the defensive line, and being able to stop the run. Kind of trying to get guys and teams to be one dimensional as we move into the season, and then hopefully our guys in the back can get some picks, some turnovers.
every team, within every region kind of has a personality within that region, how they see themselves, relative to the other programs. What would you say that it is for Farmington, who's, I think, probably the newest program in Region One? But what would you say? And this is another dumb media day question that might change year to year, but how would you describe that, Coach?
I think this is a close knit group. I think as I've came into the program, establishing the culture that I want to see and how we want to be, I think accountability and discipline has been the biggest part. But these guys love each other. Um, I'm getting emotional because I never anticipated to coach high school ball, but I love these guys. Obviously, one of them is my son, but I spend most of my days with these guys. And
Yeah.
so if I'm going to coach them up, I'm going to make sure that I love them, and hopefully they know it and they can feel it. But these guys love each other. They're going to play for each other, and I think we're going to do some good things this year. Sorry.
Oh, all good. That's awesome. Thank you, Coach. Let's do. Dang, it's flown by fast talking with you guys. It's been a blast, but I've got a couple more questions. Let's do. Um, let's go Easton maybe for this one. He looks like an honest guy. Who's got the fastest 40-yard dash, would you say, on this year's team?
Ooh, I would definitely say Cade at corner. He is, I mean, seeing him at camps fly around and doing his thing at corner, I think he's one of the most agile guys I've seen the past few years, and I'm excited to see what he can do with that. And yeah, lots of potential right there.
And remind me Cade's last name.
Cade McGuire.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Ty, who squats the most on this team?
That's got to be Grant Preston right here.
Oh, he's with us.
Yeah, he's right here with us.
All right, Grant, way to go, buddy. Good for you. And then let's go to Kava. Besides yourself, Kava, who's like and maybe this kid's not here. You don't just have to suck up to a guy that's here, right? You can name somebody who's not here. Who's like the coach on the field besides yourself, like smart, knows the plays, X's and O's, anticipates stuff really well? What do you think?
I'm gonna say Ty Runyon. I mean, you gotta look at that ACT score. I mean, the score don't lie. Yeah, definitely. Like when we're studying for a game, he knows every coverage that goes to every formation. He knows ball.
Wow. What was your ACT score, Ty, if you don't mind sharing with the group?
It was a 34.
What?
Yeah.
34? That's
Yep.
double what I got, I think. Goodness gracious. All right. Let's go. Where's these other questions? Oh, maybe let's see. Grant, maybe give me a young guy or a newcomer who you didn't know very well heading into this off season that's impressed you, either weight room or talent in these 7-on-7s. It's like, oh, this kid, I didn't even realize uh, he's going to be a big help for us this year.
Oh, Ethan Larson for sure. He's a new transfer here from Layton, and I didn't see it before, but then at corner when we played in this American Fork tournament, he was just locking down everyone. So yeah, he's a year younger. He's a junior, and I'm just excited to see what he can do for us.
Awesome. Let's go back to Ty. Ty, who puts the most effort into their drip on Friday nights?
I say Kava. You mentioned earlier that we won the 6A uniform champions. He was the picture for both of them. So.
Oh,
yeah.
no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Okay, way to go, Kava. If you guys had a dunk contest in the gym after practice, Easton, who would win that dunk contest?
I'd definitely say I'd have to go with like Benson Rogers, our guy at wideout.
Okay, he can jump.
Oh yeah.
Does he play basketball?
No, but he's athletic. He's one of our more athletic guys on the team, and I don't know. I think picturing him, he'd definitely be the guy.
That's great. Good job. And then last one, I think, does Farmington as a young program have like a super fan, like a grandma or somebody who just a mom of one of the kids who is ringing a bell or something in the stands to get people fired up? What does that look like, Coach?
I mean, our game day atmosphere is one of the best in the state, bar none. I've had multiple coaches kind of compliment us on that. But I think it's just the support and the community that we have at the high school with our Phoenix Club. They do a great job of making sure they support me and the boys. And that's why we have, one of the best atmospheres is because all the help and support they bring us each and every week to provide that environment, not only for our players, but for our community.
Okay, excellent. It's been so fun to talk with Coach Fia here in Farmington, a bunch of his star players. The last one I'll get you on, Coach, is just give me a little preview of week 1 matchup against Bingham. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, this will be the first year that I've seen in recent years that we've played a tough opponent like this. We anticipate it's going to be a tough bout for us. They're big, they're physical. We haven't played them before in recent years, and so we look forward to just putting our staple on who we are and what we're about. I'm excited for the team and the culture that we've established here. But we got good leadership, as you can see here through the interview with these guys, and how much they care for each other. And so I'm just excited to get out there and compete and represent who we are as a team, our community, and our high school.
Excellent. Coach, thank you so much. It was great getting to know you guys, and thank you so much for your time. I know how crazy busy this time of year is for you, so it's not lost on me how difficult it is to get everybody together for something like this. So thank you so much. We'll be following you all year long, and go Phoenix. Thanks for being here.
Go Phoenix. All right.
Appreciate you guys.